Okay, so as I've been browsing around, there were some things that very well much interested me in the way that with new handheld gaming devices, and Playtron is putting out their own OS and like devices and doing device getting other device manufacturers. So it seems like they're mainly going into the idea of doing a dev- device OS for gaming. And so they are competing with the likes of SteamOS in this respect and a couple of the larger ones. So this is kind of their big web page for it. So they claim to have do a super console. Playtron extracts the gaming ecosystem from Windows and leaves everything else behind. So supposedly you'll leave all the bloat behind, much kind of like SteamOS does. So I don't want to scroll down too far just yet, but so lightweight gaming OS optimized for new generation of powerful handheld PCs and beyond. Play all your games from every store, Steam, Epic, and more. So this is an interesting layout that they have here. So they've moved the buttons that you typically see on a Steam controller up above the diamonds, and you've got the joysticks up here. I'm not like the ergonomics just don't seem like they'll work out the same, but maybe we'll see. I don't know if these are buttons or lights, but anyway. So here's what they are dealing with. We're going to, rather than go from over here to here, we're going to start with PlaytronOS and then go over. So we're going to go backwards. Linux-based gaming OS platform with every game store and many third-party integrations to come. Supports many devices day one. So they claim that they are going to integrate many other stores into their ecosystem in the operating system itself, and that day one of release, you're going to be able to play all these games from it. Obviously, building off of technology that's already been available. So then Windows Monolithic OS meant for desktop PCs, not handhelds. So Windows has very much, for the most part, been optimized for the desktop interface and not so much for a handheld interface, although Microsoft has acknowledged that they want to do a more handheld oriented interface so that it's easier to work with, not optimized for mass market consumer gaming. More like games tailor their development to Windows because that's what most people play on still. Now SteamOS is the interesting one. Linux-based game OS compatible with Steam only. Locked to the Valveverse, well, the Steam ecosystem. So this right here is really what tipped me off to doing this video, is the fact that they claim that SteamOS is locked to Steam only stuff. Okay, ideally, yes. You could almost say that SteamOS is better if you're playing Steam games, but you're not exactly locked to just Steam games. With the likes of Heroic, Lutris, and many others, you have the ability to install games, and Heroic even expedites the process of setting up those games from like GOG and Epic in Steam straight away. Like, really easy. Like, by default, you can install a game through Heroic, and then you can go in and it'll automatically add it to your Steam library. EmuDeck, you can add lots of ROMs to your library, and it'll just be right there. EmuDeck will take care of adding the links and everything into Steam however you decide to configure it. Second of all, it's like, well, you have to go into desktop mode to integrate all that. It's like, okay. I mean, desktop mode is pretty much going to power, go to desktop, and then you open Discover, you click one button to install Heroic, and then log into Epic and things like that. You're going to have to log into Epic and Playtron as it is anyway. It's just a matter of how do they implement the integrations in order to make it work. And I think I've got a good assumption as to how that works based on later information in here. So you've got 1 billion core casual gamers over the next decade. So the handheld market tailors to casual gaming very well because you can take it wherever you go. You've got your mobile, your console, and then that. So they are kind of hitting this middle market, much like the Steam Deck has. They tout having 5G availability on many devices once it releases. Form factors, including your car, they want to port to, which is interesting. We've already got Steam and Tesla, but yeah. Later this year for Steam Deck and other handheld PCs, so you can install it on Steam Deck, just like Chimera OS. So publishers expand your user base and your store presence with deep integration directly into PlaytronOS. Steam Deck does this a lot. Whether people are going to pick up on Playtron or not is going to be a whole other thing. It's because you're introducing a new thing, open source powered. This is where I think it turns into, oh, you're going to build off of Heroic. We believe Linux is the future of gaming. The Playtron team has deep roots in open source projects, from Android's early days to key contributions to modern Linux gaming projects. Playtron will be making community tools available for contribution and is hiring actively for the Linux gaming community. So I think this means that Heroic Games is going to be pre-installed into it and a couple other things to make it work. So you put together a distro, which is what they're doing, with all these tools pre-built in. So you have Steam, Heroic, and the like already installed, much like some of the other gaming stuff like Chimera. But anyway, then apparently they're going to launch their own cloud as well. So here are the people, team with experiences from, so they've worked in these places. Investors, they've already got investors. So we shall see. GDC. Interesting. So Valve introduced handheld gaming, like, to a wider market. And so now everybody else is jumping in. That's what Playtron basically is. What I don't like is the fact that they disingenuously say that SteamOS locks you into using Steam only, when that is like far from the truth. When Valve literally tells you, here's how you boot up so that you can install something else on your Steam Deck. And here's all the tools that you need for it. We've got everything here so that you can do it yourself if you want to. And many OSs, alternate OSs, integrate some of the Steam Deck drivers into it so that you can play on there as well. So yes, the handheld is basically the super console. You can plug it in and go. But to say that, oh, the competition locks you into their ecosystem when it largely doesn't, at least in the Steam Deck's case, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they can overcome the status of building their own operating system and also what hardware they're going to use behind it. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.